Matt on LAX. There's no doubt that the sport of lacrosse is currently experiencing a special moment in its history, from the increased attendance at events to now college and pro games broadcasted on television, and not to mention great podcasts like this one available online. The exposure of the game is attracting extraordinary attention, and that's a great thing. As players and fans, we often hear the mission statement to grow the game. Today's guest has been an amazing voice in that effort. Mitchell Pehlke has taken his role in the Ohio State men's lacrosse team to a new level, providing thousands of online LAX fans with awesome behind-the-scenes access and endless amounts of laughs. But there's more to the man than meets the eye, so please join me as I hit the frog and welcome my friend, Mitchell Pehlke. Hi Mitchell, thank you for joining me today and welcome to Matt on LAX. Let's start at the beginning. What age did you start playing lacrosse?
I started playing, I think, when I was 5 years old. I got into the sport because of my father. My dad, Kevin Pehlke, was a legend at UVA, played in the early 90s, late 80s, and that's how I got into it, probably 5 years old.
You're originally from Leesburg, Virginia. What was the lacrosse program like for you when you started playing?
It was pretty good. It wasn't terrible. Obviously, Baltimore, Maryland being the mecca of lacrosse, we kind of got funneled down that talent. So it wasn't terrible, but I always grew up with my dad coaching me. I always tell people, having a coach and a father in the same household was definitely rough sometimes, but wouldn't rather be around any other guy talking about LAX than my old man.
Same here. As a young athlete, did you play any other sports?
Yeah, so growing up, I played my three primary sports was obviously lacrosse, then football, and then basketball. So I actually played, obviously, lacrosse my whole life, played football all the way up until 8th grade, and then basketball all the way up until freshman year of high school, played on the freshman team, then committed to Ohio State and kind of had to really focus on the one sport. But one of my biggest regrets in life is not playing high school football. I really wish I did that. Looking back, obviously I don't have those memories now, but if I could give you any tips, play high school football, no matter if you're good or not. It's just like a good experience to meet new people.
Yeah, we have a good football team in my school.
I like that.
Do you think it's valuable for young athletes to play any other sports?
Yes, I do. I really think if you're playing at the next level, you should play other sports. One, to not get burned out, and two, to you're always going to stay in shape. And I think three, it's just important to continue to meet new people and try different things in life. I think, that, like I said, when going back and I had to play high school football, I really regret, one, I didn't know those guys. Two, fall, I kind of fell out of shape because, I wasn't practicing every day like the football guys were. And I think three is just you got to take advantage of those experiences in life. You can only play high school football for 4 years. And I always wanted to be in the student section, have fun with the guys and cheer them on. But I could have done both, maybe played half football, half in the student section of my high school career. But, you live and you learn. And now I'm talking to people like you, trying to tell you guys to play high school football.
As a young player, what were your biggest challenges?
I think my biggest challenges have always been my offhand, especially playing the sport of lacrosse. It's something I never really wanted to work on because I wasn't good at it. And I think the town where I was from, the lacrosse wasn't that good, so I could kind of get away with not going to my left hand.
How did you start playing attack? Did you choose a position or did a coach?
I think I just started playing attack because of my dad. Obviously, my dad was a great lacrosse player and everything. He played attack. But now when I got to Ohio State, they actually switched me to midfield. And I love it. And I a lot of my offense is a dodging from X versus shorty, so virtually the same thing than attack.
Mm-hmm.
But just truly thankful for the opportunity.
It's always nice when you get matched up with a shorty.
Yeah, it's the best.
You played for Riverside High School, where you were 3-time first-team All-Virginia honoree. And as a senior, you helped Riverside win its second state championship in 3 years with an 18-2 overall record. What was the experience like?
Quick question for you. Let me see if you did your research. How many state championships do I have?
I think 3.
3, yeah. I won one when I was in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So we played up, obviously, JV, this and that. It's a story for a different day. But wait, I always forget your question. Sorry.
What was the experience like winning the championship?
It was awesome, man. I think I'm one of the few guys in the world that can say they played on an attack line with their 3 best friends for 3 years. One of my guys, Danny Moltz, he plays at Maryland. Another guy, Taylor Musa, who was committed to Colgate and decided not to go and just wanted to be a student at University of Virginia, still holds the goals record for the state of Virginia with like 600 something. And I grew up playing with those guys, playing at a rec team called the Ashburn Bandits, where my dad coached all three of us, and it was super surreal. And to go out on top against a good high school EC Glass my senior year with my three best friends on the field, like you can't write up a better stories than that. So it was awesome, and Riverside being such a new school too, they were built in the first year was my freshman year, 2016. It was cool to kind of put them up on the map lacrosse wise, and they've have since dominated. And Coach Work is running a great program over there and truly breeding a powerhouse for public high school lacrosse.
How's it playing for Coach Nick Horek?
Yeah, so Coach was awesome. He was a guy coming from a VMI background where he played lacrosse there, and it was very structured and don't get out of line, and it really prepared me for the next level, getting coached by Coach Nick Myers here at Ohio State. And I think the best part about it was I got to play for him, and I love playing for him because he's such a great guy, and I cared about him. But also playing for your city, right? You grew up in that town. Playing for people that I've always grown up with, and you see people this and that. So it was really cool just to like be able to represent. All right, I go to Riverside. I'm from Leesburg, Virginia, and we're gonna win this thing. And that was to me like the coolest part.
Did you play club lacrosse?
Yeah, so I played club lacrosse for FCA in Maryland, and then I also played for Sweet LAX in New York.
At the age of 15 in 8th grade, you were recruited by UVA, Hopkins, and Ohio State. What led to your decision to go to Ohio State?
I think Ohio State had ultimately everything I was asking for. They had the academics, first of all. They obviously had the lacrosse. They had the big school aspect. They had the college football experience, kind of that holistic college experience that I really wanted. And they really checked every box, and it wasn't something bad with UVA or Hopkins. I just think they had everything here at Ohio State that I wanted, and obviously committed here, and have never looked back. I truly love going to this place and graduating this May. It's kind of surreal, but I'm always going to make a trip out to Columbus.
What has your experience been like at Ohio State?
It's been awesome. It's been nothing I mean, honestly, as a 15-year-old kid, committing here, you don't really know what to expect, right? You're a young buck. I mean, to think like that's in 3 years you'd commit to a college is honestly nuts now. And I'm kind of glad the rule changed, but my experience here has been awesome. When I tell people all the time is like, I truly love this place, and if you commit here, you're never going to regret it. And I wake up every day. I'm just so thankful to be at this place and getting coached by Nick Myers, and just have this sort of brotherhood here has been everything I imagined and more. So just truly thankful, and have never regretted my decision, and thankful I committed here back when I was a young buck at 15.
Talking about Coach Myers, what has it been like to play for Coach Myers?
It's been awesome. He is an old school coach where he's strict with his ways and you don't get out of line. And I think I needed that as a freshman. I wasn't say I was cocky, but I really didn't have any sort of background like that off the field. And I think Coach Work, my high school coach, brought that on the field, but Coach Myers has brought that on and off the field. And I can say it's in the bottom of my heart, truly grown as a man. And I think that's everyone's ultimate goal when they come to college, right? So when they graduate, they go in the working world. They know what to do. They know how to act and everything. So getting coached by Coach Myers has been a true blessing. I've learned so many good things from him, and he'll be a guy I'll forever say thank you to.
Also, speaking of coaches, in your opinion, what makes a good coach?
Oh, that's a good question there, Matty Ice. I don't know, honestly. I think it's just like you got to have the passion for it. Obviously, that has to come with it. But I think it's just like to be a good coach, you got to be a good teacher, right? They're both, I feel like, virtually the same thing. And I think to be a great coach, you got to be able to talk to kids and teach kids the right way. There's been numerous coaches in my life that, if I were to stay with them for a long time or gotten a deeper connection, maybe I wouldn't have liked the sport because maybe they didn't teach it in the right way. So I think it just comes down to having love for the sport and teaching kids the right way they should be taught. Because I think not everyone on the field can be taught the same way.
Yeah, like you have to teach it. It's not just like telling them how to do it. It's the teaching aspect.
You got to guide them through it. I love that.
How have your coaches helped you in your career on and off the field?
So I think on the field, obviously, you're playing with the best lacrosse players in the world, right? At practice every single day, you're dodging against all Americans, Big Ten this, NCAA that, and I think you're just ultimately just going to grow just by going out and picking up the stick every day, going against guys like that. And I think just having this relentless effort to work has been my biggest thing because, like, if I want to get better than the next guy, we're still going to practice every day. Okay. So we're still putting in the same amount of work, but how am I going to get a step ahead this guy? You got to go and you got to edge, you got to put in extra work. So that's one thing I've realized. And I honestly didn't do too much in high school. And I think off the field, just learning how to be a man, Coach Myers, talks to us as men. He always preaches us as men. And I think that's been one of the biggest things. Like I said, I wasn't cocky coming in. I just think like I was still kind of this Mitchell Pehlke, the high schooler. And for me to grow, I kind of had to be in this position. And that's why I'm truly thankful to be kind of taught in under the role of Coach Myers.
In your opinion, what makes a good player?
I think a great player is just obviously you can talk about different positions, but I think at any position, you kind of got to be the quarterback and the person that really people can lead on. Our captain this year, Jack Myers, is a guy I absolutely love playing for. He's the quarterback of our offense. He knows what's going on through and through, and you can always go to him for advice. He's not going to yell at you. And the first time I've truly loved playing for a captain like that. And I just think, if you're a great player, you have to be the quarterback of that team, of that position, and really truly have buy-in from your players. But also have a fun time too. I think one of the big things I've noticed is like people are going to play harder and better if they love playing for somebody. And that's one thing I've realized in college. And I think that's what the Buckeyes are all about because we obviously love Coach Myers and our captain coach. So it's like we're going to go all in.
What makes a good teammate?
I think a good teammate is a lot of things. Like there's definitely a plethora of guys on the teams that have different roles. That's something Coach preaches is own your role. And whether you're a juice guy on the sideline or a guy that scores all these goals, I think it all depends. But from a lacrosse perspective, I just think it's a guy that can receive feedback the right way and take it and grow. I think that's been one of the biggest things. It's something I've had to adjust here. It's like, hey, if a guy's getting on me, it doesn't mean he doesn't like me. It just means he sees better from me and he wants me to grow. And I think that is a huge factor whether a teammate is good or not.
Many of our audience are young and upcoming athletes. So what would you say is the most important skill for a young athlete to develop and work on?
I think the biggest thing is just having both hands on lockdown. I think, that's something I had to kind of play catch up with when I got here because everyone else had that ability. And I would say if you have that ability at a young age, you're already going to stand out because, at a young age, you're not supposed to have it. So I would say continue to work on both hands, left and right, and have the little skills of passing to catching to dodging, picking up ground balls on lock. So when you get to this level, you can kind of work on other things to get you in that starting lineup and ultimately scoring goals.
How important is the mental game of the development of a young athlete?
This is huge. Yeah. This is something I didn't really think about until I got here. Just because you you play college sports to start to play, right? And ultimately to win. And I think in high school and younger, I didn't have that feeling just because like in my town, I was always the best player on each team. So when I got here, having a little fallback and being like, wow, like, okay, I'm not the best player in my city, in my county anymore. Like I got to continue to level up. And I think just like taking a deep breath and be like, okay, like this is a new adjustment for me. Like it doesn't all have to happen tomorrow. Continue to work on it, continue to get extra work, and ultimately that goal will come. And I think the biggest thing as mental health goes is like, I think one is like talking to somebody. Ohio State here, we have the ability as athletes to get free therapy, or we call it mental health work with these sports psych people. And that's been a huge blessing. I've done it a couple of times and it's really helped me just kind of get things off my chest and kind of get my head centered again to become a great athlete. And I think that's super important.
Do you get nervous before your games?
1,000%. It was kind of weird, actually. I never got nervous in high school, but every game now, whether starting or not, I'll still get super nervous.
What do you know about lacrosse now that you wish you knew when you were younger?
Oof. I think ultimately, obviously, the game always changes from high school to college. But I think one of the biggest things I've realized is how like honestly strong you have to be in the sport. Like I always thought like, oh, look at this kid, look at that kid. Like he doesn't look that big on TV, he's scoring all these goals. But like when you get to college, like you got to be able to squat X amount or bench X amount because like these guys are big boys. And especially if you're playing an offensive side or a defensive side too, like you got to be able to throw around weight in the weight room because like if not, you're gonna get bullied on the field.
Now many people know you from your amazing social media content. You started making YouTube videos in your freshman year of high school. How did this get started?
So it got started actually. One, I always wanted to be like a YouTuber, I guess. I think I always tell people I'm the first generation to come home and watch YouTube instead of watching TV. Always loved watching these YouTubers' lifestyles like Casey Neistat, BF First GF, Roman Atwood vlogs, like Shaytards. And I always loved kind of the life they live in. I wanted to do it myself, but was like so scared to try. But honestly, it was from my mom continuing to convince me, be like, hey, like you got to try new things in life. Like lacrosse isn't going to be here forever. Like you should try to make a YouTube video. Because I always told her like I want to start this YouTube thing, but I'm afraid. And it just took her a couple months to really get on me, be like, hey, you know, continue to do this. Like let's get one video going. And it ultimately started with me and one of my boys, Evan Buckley, in history class. We sat next to each other, and I looked at him. I was like, yo, can I give you a haircut? And he looked at me. He's like, if I can give you one. And we met at my house that weekend. I gave him a terrible haircut, posted it. It went kind of viral in my school. And the rest is history, and just started making haircut videos. That was really my first chunk of videos. Then ultimately evolved in high school vlogs, combining lacrosse. And then now it's a whole bunch of things, college lacrosse, other student athlete things with frats, sororities, and plethora of things. And I can't wait to continue to create videos.
Has it been challenging to keep your content fresh and evolving?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. Obviously, being a student athlete, time is already limited. And I think one of the biggest things for me is like, how can I maximize this opportunity? So it's definitely been tough, but I think the biggest thing is talking to people around me about the content, what they think would be interesting, and kind of going down that road about how I can put my spin on it while not losing creativity and just have fun with it. I think that's the ultimate goal, is like just to go and have fun, get the roommates, to get the team involved, get the university involved, and just make fun videos like I would back in 2016.
You've done so many different types of things with your content. Has there been one feature or setup that has been your favorite to do?
I love doing the tours. I really do. On my YouTube channel, that's something I've kind of dove deep this summer, and have continued this fall, and I'm going to, I think, for the next year, because I think it's cool. It's like if you, the viewer, Matt, have never seen, you know, Indiana's behind the scenes facilities, I want to give you that opportunity, and I want to make that experience awesome for you, because you might not ever have that experience, but I know through my platform I do. And I think that's been a huge blessing to have that opportunity first. And I think too, just, you know, capitalizing on that, and kind of making those their own videos. And also, you know, I get to meet new people. I'm always with an athlete at this or that school. So I think the tours are something I really love doing.
Yeah, I love actually watching your tours. They're like my favorite thing, because then you
Thank you.
also go meet the players. Like I saw
Yeah.
recently the Ohio State basketball facility tour,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
that was just like, it was just like a good video. It was
Yeah. Thank you.
entertaining.
I think it's cool too, because it's like, if you're a huge Ohio State basketball player, you might love, you know, the starting center Zed Key, but you don't know what he's like as a person. And I want to kind of mesh those two, where it's like he's famous because he's a basketball player, but he's just a regular person. So let's just like show how he really is, and that's all the ultimate goal with these high profile athletes.
Yeah, that's like cool to see who people you really love watching on the court, just seeing like how they are.
Yeah.
But now we have a video question from a young fan. Here's Tyler.
Hey Mitchell, I'm Tyler. I love your videos. How long does it take you to plan, film, and edit your video?
My man Tyler. I love that question. That's a good little segue. I like that there, Matty Ice. So to plan, edit. So really, planning wise, thinking of it, I'm always thinking of creating content, right? This is my life. So that never stops. So once I figure out the video idea, whatever it is, I'll reach out to the person or start to plan it immediately. And there's no sort of timeline with that, because every video is different. When I'm at the site, or if we're wherever we are filming the video, you know, it usually takes me about a couple hours to film, right? You know, whether we're doing the tour or just to sit down reacting to my teammates' highlight tapes, like it all varies. But once I'm done filming, I actually hired an editor in April. He still works with me. And I download all the footage to a Google Drive folder and then send him that link. Then he gets back to me within 2 to 3 days with the video. He sends it to me. I download it. Then I watch it while taking notes. I then send him the notes. He puts in the edits, gets the video back. I send him notes again, just kind of continuing that process until I get the final video. And that kind of back and forth takes about 4 to 5 days. And then I contact my thumbnail person. I'll be like, hey, I want this for the thumbnail. Go back and forth, get the thumbnail. And that's really it for a video. I think that's a step I had to take, hiring an editor, because, okay, now I have the capital through NIL. I have the money through NIL to pay these guys. So I got to use it to my advantage, because ultimately beforehand I was editing my videos. If we had a 10-minute video, it took me an hour a minute. So if I had a 10-minute video, it took me 10 hours to edit. It's a brutal process. Like I said, obviously being a student athlete, time is limited. So I had to kind of get around that opportunity, get around that kind of fork in the road. Okay, now I have the money. Let's hire somebody. Okay, now the editing side's done. Let me focus on something else of the business.
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty long process. I didn't know so difficult like that.
Yeah, definitely tedious, but definitely worth it.
Yeah, but audiences really don't know how much work goes into a production. What has it been your process in creating a new segment? Do you just come up with an idea first, or do you start filming and just see what happens?
So yeah, I think that's two different type of videos. So some videos I just like to pick up the camera and go and mess around with the guys or my family and just have fun, just an old-fashioned vlog. But other videos, you have to plan more for these tours, right? I got to reach out to the athlete, figure out a time that works for both, right? Because he's an athlete, I'm an athlete. And I think the second thing is just going over to film their travel, this and that. So those obviously videos take more time. And I think both of them have their pluses and minuses. But yeah, I think that's kind of the routine with those. But I think as far as trying new things, it's really just, if I think of the idea and I think it's going to be interesting for the viewer, I'm going to do it. I'm not really going to ask too many people, this and that. I'm just going to attack it and go and film it, edit it, and post it. I think the biggest thing, I'm still virtually a young creator. You look at these YouTubers like Casey Neistat, Jesse James West, like these guys have millions of followers and I'm sitting at 40,000. Super thankful for that. But in my eyes, I'm still a young creator. So the opportunity to continue to try new things is super important. That's something I'll forever do.
Mm-hmm. What has been the hardest part of the production for you?
I think the hardest part is sometimes like when I'm going to do these tours or these different videos that require a cameraman, having that ability. Like I've been so thankful that one of my roommates, one of my best friends, James Hogan, has filmed so many videos for me. And I can forever thank him for that, because he's such a great job behind camera. His personality plus his camera skills have been awesome. But if I'm going something out of state or out of my town, like I had to find another filmer for that. So that's been kind of the hardest part.
Mm-hmm. I love watching James on your channel. He's pretty funny.
He's the man. He's the man.
What's the best advice for fellow content creators?
I would just say, if you haven't started yet, my number one thing is always get started. Don't worry about the equipment. Pick up your iPhone and go. Like it's kind of like investing. I mean, I don't know if you know too much about investing, Matt, but the later you start, the less money you'll make. It's the same with YouTube. The later you start, the less amount of videos you're posted, and the less you'll learn about the craft. But if you're a content creator now and you've done it for a little bit, I think the consistency part is key. I upload one video a week, Tuesday at 5 p.m. And that's like the Bible for me. I'll never miss that date no matter what, because YouTube as a platform has to count on me. And if they consistently see me posting at Tuesday at 5, they're going to push my video out and continue to push it out to more and more people. So I'd say if you're just starting up, post. And if you're a content creator now, consistency is key. Find that date and don't miss that date.
Mm-hmm. Is it challenging to balance schoolwork, lacrosse, YouTube, and college life?
Yeah, definitely challenging. I would say, hiring that editor has definitely been a big weight lifted off my shoulders. And I think now having the ability to have money to then hire people has been a huge blessing for me to obviously focus on school, graduate, and play great lacrosse. So I think it's definitely challenging, but I have a lot of self-discipline, and I look at my Google Calendar every second of the day and has everything I need to get done in that day. And I attack it. And I just think if you want to get this many things done in your daily schedule, you have to have great self-discipline. And that's kind of my always tip takeaway when young people have packed schedules is like get a Google Calendar, set it, and just go by it.
Talking about Google Calendar, what does your average day look like for you?
Average day always starts at 6 a.m. No matter what I shouldn't say no matter what. If I do end up going, staying up late that night, I will adjust my hours. But I'm huge on getting my 8 hours of sleep. Go to bed at 10, wake up at 6, because 8 hours of sleep, you're 80% less likely to get injured on the field by getting that recovery in bed. And wake up at 6. And it usually starts with practice in our fall time. We have practice in the morning, and then in the spring we have it in the afternoon. So get up at 6, go to practice, have practice, obviously shower, stretch, do all these things there. Get back probably around 11. And then this semester I have class from 11:30 to 2. Then after that, work on some homework and around 3. And then from 3 o'clock till I go to bed 10 is all social media time. So definitely a packed schedule. My roommates hate it because I don't see them during the week. But that's what the weekend's for. I take the time to kind of relax. I don't really go on my laptop on Friday nights and Saturdays just to kind of hang out with them and really, be a college student. I think that's truly important.
Now, Mitchell, let's get to the real story. Let's talk about our hair. As you can tell, I have my own style and development. Part mullet, part experiment. Instead of party in the back, it's more like party all over. How would you describe the Pehlke special?
The Pehlke special, it's different. So actually, this past weekend, I got the opportunity to go out to Fox Big Noon Kickoff. It's kind of their version of College Game Day. They're trying to get up, and it was awesome. Super fun experience. And I got to actually meet Matt Leinart. You obviously probably know him. He was a great quarterback at USC, played a couple years in the NFL. But I met him for the first time, and he started touching my hair. He's like, I love your hair, man. Like, what do you put in it? And the truthful answer is nothing. I don't put anything in my hair. If you look at it, it is like the thickest thing ever. He started calling it like a Brillo pad. That's something you clean dishes with. I don't know if you know that, Maddie. But it's really nothing special. I always tell people, like, people think it's such a cool hairstyle, but like my hair grows like an afro. So like if I didn't style it like this, it would just grow out wide. So it's a blessing and a curse. Definitely love my hairstyle, but I don't have a lot of opportunities to do anything. But I kind of see your little mullet growing in. How's that been going?
It's going good. Mom and Dad make me cut it, so can't go to its full potential. But
yeah,
it's going well.
I like
nice
that.
and
You just got to
fluffy.
shape it up on the sides here and there.
Yeah. I think I might cut it off, though.
Really? What are you going to go? Buzz cut?
I don't know. That's a hard decision. But I don't really know. I got to still decide. It's a hard
Yeah,
decision.
you'll be fine. You'll still look good anyways.
Do you give credit to your friend Evan Buckley with the creation of your signature look?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I definitely do. I think like he's a guy, without him, who knows where I'd be today, obviously with that first video. But I definitely give him credit when I see him during the summer or when I see him over winter break. I'll definitely bust his chops here and there, but we're still great friends.
How often do you get a haircut?
I get a haircut once a month. So it's actually coming in. I'll get a haircut this week before I go back for Thanksgiving break. But yeah, once a month.
I think this is a huge missed opportunity. Maybe we could work together to get a hair deal.
A hair deal. I'm kind of into that, Matty Ice. I would love to do something like that.
Do you enjoy any hobbies outside lacrosse?
Yeah, I just love hanging out with my friends. I think social media and obviously the schedule I'm in right now, I don't have the ability to really have any hobbies just because, school comes first. So when I get that done, then it goes to lacrosse. And when I get that done, it goes to social media. And after that, there's really no hobbies. But I say, like I said, on the weekends, Friday night and all day Saturday, just hang out with the guys. Like this weekend, we went to the Ohio State football game and like doing stuff like that, just experiencing this college lifestyle is super important. And then when lacrosse isn't happening during the summer, I usually like to play some golf with the guys, but truthfully just put the phone down and hang out with the guys and be present with them.
After all you achieved on and off the field, what would fans find surprising to learn about Mitchell Pehlke?
I think one thing, and one of my friends told me this the other day, like when I am not working, LAX, school, or social media, like I'm not on my phone. And I think that surprised some people because obviously I'm on social media, this and that guy. But like when I'm off, like when I'm not working, when I'm on social media, I'm off. And like when I'm out with the guys, like I sometimes don't even bring my phone out because I don't need it. Like I want to be present with them. I don't want to have to be worrying about notifications or this and that on Instagram or TikTok. Like that's kind of one of the surprising things people always say is like, you're really not ever on your phone. And I'm like, I do that for a reason because when I'm on hard, but when I'm not, I'm not. And, you know, I like to hang out with those guys and have fun.
Okay, Pehlke, get ready because it's time for the Mad Attack. Since we both wear the number 25, here are 25 quick questions. You ready?
Let's do it.
3 words to describe yourself.
Italian, 5'10", that's one word, and meatball.
What did you want to be when you were little?
A pro lacrosse player.
Who makes you laugh?
My mom.
What's your favorite snack?
Oh, rice cakes with peanut butter.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
No.
What is your favorite sports movie?
What? Matty Ice, I was just watching it. Oh my God. Oh, what is it? Let's go back to that. That'll be the 25th question.
What would your best friend say is the most unique thing about you?
I'm funny.
What actor would play you in a movie of your life?
God, coming out with the heat. Casey Neistat.
Biggest pet peeve?
My mom does this all the time. This isn't really a pet peeve, but she will open the fridge, get milk, put milk in her coffee, and then like lay the cap on top of the milk. And then when I get up, I'm going to do the same thing. I like open the milk, shake it, goes everywhere. She never screws on the caps or anything. It pisses me off.
What's the last thing you bought?
The last thing I bought was had a corn dog for the first time in my life last night, actually. And I probably never have it again. It wasn't that good.
Relationship status?
Single.
Are you ready to mingle?
Very ready to mingle. Trying to find a girlfriend. I think that will never stop.
Favorite college class?
Favorite college class is actually one I'm in right now called Sport and Popular Culture. Get to learn everything about, obviously, sports and what's going on in society.
What is something you do not enjoy doing?
Schoolwork.
What does your favorite t-shirt say?
My favorite t-shirt I have. Oh, what is it? Say on it?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
But we had some other answers on this that it could really be anything now.
I think it's actually going to be Mitchell Pehlke merchandise. That's actually coming out soon, so stay tuned for that.
Ooh, we might have to cop some of that.
Hey, I love that.
Favorite thing about Ohio State?
Oh, the school spirit for sure. Everyone loves this place.
What is your go-to dance move?
The gritty.
Yes,
1,000%. I was hitting it this past weekend. Oh, the movie is Caddyshack. That's a classic. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a golf movie. Yeah.
If you were on a game show and you had to phone a friend, who would you call?
My buddy Taylor Musa. I was talking about him earlier in the episode, but he's wicked smart. He's a wizard.
Pick a number.
25.
Good number. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Cookies and cream, baby.
What 2 things besides food and water would you bring to a deserted island?
My camera.
I actually said that before. What would you do if you won the lottery?
I would take my family on a vacation and then hire a money manager. That's actually one of my biggest fears is winning the lottery. I hope I never do. Yeah, I know it's kind of weird.
Where do you want to go for a vacation?
Italy. Really bad.
What was the last gift you gave someone?
The last gift I gave someone was STX sent me a all red Stallion 900 and I gave it to one of my teammates like
Nice
a couple
guy.
weeks ago. Yeah.
What's your favorite song to sing along to?
Literally any Christmas song. I was bumping Christmas music this morning.
And finally, work hard or play hard?
Both. Can't have one without the other.
Now it's time for our new feature, Pick Your Next segment. It's time Time to choose apples or oranges.
Apples.
Oh boy. Here we
Uh-oh,
go.
what happened?
Mitchell, it's time for questions from Grandma.
Grandma! Let's go. This fires me up, Matt.
Hi, Mitchell. This is Grandma Millie. Just have 2 questions for you today. Who taught you how to do your laundry? And also, how often do you speak to your family? That's it for now. Have a good day. Go Buckeyes.
First question, how to do the laundry? My mom. My mom showed me how to do laundry. And that's like something I've always been doing. Like I don't do it at home, but I came to college knowing how to do it. And I talk to my family. I talk to my mom and dad every single day. I call them once a day. I usually talk to my mom probably 3 times a day. And I usually talk to my brother a couple times a week. I think being Italian in my blood, family is everything. And I keep it that way. I love my family. Even though my parents are divorced, I still talk to them every single day.
It looks like we have a turnover. Do you have a question for me?
Question for you. Lacrosse aside, what is the dream job for you in the social media space if you had to pick one?
Oh, like can't do anything with lacrosse.
Can't do anything with lacrosse.
Oh.
You can create content about lacrosse, but you can't. No, we're not talking about pro lacrosse, anything like that.
Could it be I become like the next Paul Cocatera?
Yeah, a little lacrosse broadcaster.
Yeah, I think that's the dream job.
Okay, so that's a dream job. Interesting. I like that. That's actually something I'm gonna try to dabble with this summer. Take a couple gigs broadcasting and see if I like it. I haven't really done it yet, so I'm truly excited to do that.
That would be something cool to try. I would love to try that.
Yeah. So that's the dream job. I love that. Well, Matt, I'm glad you're doing stuff like this, right? Because that's only going to help you get there in the next level. You're going to get reps doing this, and that's going to help you be a broadcaster one day. So that's awesome, man.
You're currently a sports industry major. So let me ask you, where did you find yourself once you graduate?
I find myself still doing what I'm already doing, continuing to create content on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Don't exactly know what that content looks like, but the plan is to continue to create content and make people like you smile while you watch my videos.
You are clearly a hard worker. When did you develop your work ethic?
I've always been like this. My mom used to call me the spaz when I was a kid because I never liked to sit down. I always just like to go. And I've always just been like this. I never take naps. And, when I get my sleep in, I get up and just want to attack the day. And I'm truly thankful for that. It's definitely there's definitely a blessing and a curse when obviously, you can work for so many hours, but sometimes, when I want to take a nap or I'm tired or want to fall asleep, my brain is still spinning. So that part is hard, but I don't know. I've always been like this.
Before we leave us today, I have 2 final questions.
Okay.
What was the best advice that you received as a player and who gave it to you?
One of the best pieces of advice came from my coach, Coach Nick Myers, and that was get comfortable getting uncomfortable. And I always say that in my videos, whenever I talk to people, because if you want to grow in life, you have to get uncomfortable. And it's the worst feeling in the world, but I know whenever I'm getting uncomfortable, I'm going to learn something from this, and this is going to be great for me to grow as a man, as a content creator, and just everything above, because I think from the bottom of my heart, if you want to grow, you have to get uncomfortable.
What advice would you give to a young athlete as they continue to play the sport?
Have fun. Don't ever lose that joy of picking up the stick and messing around playing mini lax with your buddies. Like that's always going to be, why you do it, right? And I still go out there with a smile on my face and truly enjoy it every day because it's the same sport I played when I was in high school or on the same attack line as my 3 best friends, and that joy should never leave you. So go out there, have fun, smile, and don't take it too seriously.
Finally, finish this sentence. Lacrosse is
the best gift God ever gave me. I love this sport. This sport has given me so much in life, and I truly can't thank the man upstairs enough.
Lastly, before we go, can you hit the frog?
Hey, I love it. Well, man, Matty Ice, man, thank you for having me out here.
Mitchell, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk to us. Most of all, I want to thank you for the great videos and laughs that you shared with me and our audience. You've clearly inspired me to get in front of the camera and spread the word about lacrosse and just have fun. I hope one day to share a sideline with you. And if you're ever in New York, let's grab a camera, and I know a great barber. I hope that you'll join me again.
Let's go, my man. Matt, thank you, man. I'm super proud. This is the first time I've ever done something like this. And I will continue to watch you grow and where you go in your career, man. I hope you're playing lacrosse at a high level, and I hope you're continuing to kill it in the content genre, man. This is really cool. You have really something special going.
Hope you'll join me again, and go Buckeyes.
No Bucks, baby.
Bye!
Thanks, Matt. See you, my man.
Since we last talked, Mitchell's totally crushed it with all of his achievements. First, he dominated his season at Ohio State. Then he kicked off his own cool merch line. Oh, did I mention he graduated? And he didn't stop there. He's still making great videos and has taken the show on the road, introducing his Mitchell Pehlke lacrosse experience. What's next for Pehlke? We're all just got to wait and watch. Hey, it's Matt. Go check out my website at mattonlax.com.